A brief history of Daredevil. For a long time, Daredevil was one of the most underrated characters in the Marvel Universe. He's had his own comics, merchandise, and media based around his story. His character has fascinated me and other fans since an early age. His menacing red devil suit with small horns on his head is quite awesome. It's like a combination of Batman's mask and Spider-Man's suit. Also, his skills and acrobatic abilities are similar to both characters. Even though he's appeared in quite a few Marvel media and is well known among Marvel fans, he doesn't receive the recognition from casual observers of superheroes. He's not as well known as Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and Black Panther. However, I'm hoping that someday he's brought to the forefront like the other superheroes. So, let's take a journey into the Daredevil character. In 1964, Stan Lee, Bill Everett, and Jack Kirby created Daredevil, who debuted in his comic book Daredevil #1, The Man Without Fear. When he debuted, he had his red and yellow suit that made him look like a circus acrobat. Daredevil's story begins as Matt Murdock, the son of Jack Murdock, a boxer in Hell's Kitchen, New York, which for years I thought was a made-up place, up until the 2015 Daredevil show on Netflix, and I had to look it up. And yes, it's an actual neighborhood in New York. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. One day, when Matt is out walking, he sees a runaway truck moving towards a blind man. Matt rushes in to push the man out the way, and as he saves the man, chemicals fall off the truck and the liquid spills into his eyes, causing him to go blind. But his other senses, like hearing, smell, and touch, are enhanced. After noticing his enhanced senses, he trains himself with his newfound abilities. When Matt grows older, he goes to law school, where he meets his best friend, Foggy Nelson. His father takes a job working for a local crime boss named The Fixer as his enforcer, and also tries to revive his boxing career. Matt goes to watch a few of his dad's fights. However, one day the Fixer asks Jack to lose a fight because he's betting on the opponent. Jack initially agreed. However, during the fight, he had a change of heart. So, he fought with everything he had and won the match. Because of Jack's disobedience, the Fixer has him taken out in an alleyway soon after the match. This sets Matt on a course to avenge his father, which turns him into the Daredevil. He finds and beats the hell out of the Fixer's crew, and when he finally gets to the Fixer, the crime boss dies of a heart attack at the sight of Daredevil. Sometime later, Matt opens his own law firm with his friend Foggy, and during the day, he tries to represent the innocent, even if they can't afford his services. And at night, he defends the city as the Daredevil. He uses his enhanced abilities when he's fighting crime. For smell, he's able to detect someone by their scent, and once he remembers their scent, he can't forget it. His enhanced touch allows him to read the ink on pages. And with his enhanced hearing, he can hear people's heartbeats and can tell whenever they're lying or excited. And he has a radar-like ability that allows him to see shapes of objects around him. Daredevil would eventually meet Spider-Man in 1964's issue of Amazing Spider-Man number 16, when Spider-Man gets hypnotized by the Ringmaster and Daredevil has to subdue him. They would eventually team up in other issues. In Daredevil comic number 7, which released in 1965, he got rid of that yellow and red acrobat suit and replaced it with the cool red suit with red lenses and double Ds. And we all can appreciate some double Ds. That was inappropriate, and I apologize. Moving on. In 1981, the villain known as the Kingpin is introduced into the Daredevil story. In comic number 170, Kingpin is a crime boss that originally debuted as a villain in Spider-Man's comics. However, he will become Daredevil's main nemesis from here on. In the 90s, your brother Rhino used to wake up early on Saturday mornings and pour myself a big bowl of cereal, like some Trix, maybe some Pebbles, or Cap'n Crunch, sometimes Rice Krispies. Turn on the television and watch some cartoons. And among those cartoons was Spider-Man, one of the best cartoons of the 90s, and whose intro was nothing short of epic. Anyways, in season 3, episode 6, titled Framed, Daredevil makes his appearance, trying to save Peter Parker after he was kidnapped and stored in an abandoned warehouse. And this was my first time seeing the character, and I was absolutely impressed. His costume looked like a mix of Spider-Man and Batman, like I said earlier, and he showed up kicking ass. He had a red field of vision, and he had a stick. When he finished kicking ass, he takes Peter to his penthouse suite and leaves him there, only for him to show up as Matt Murdock. And now both superheroes are pretending to be regular ass people. Later in the episode, Spider-Man is trying to recover a disc that could prove Peter's innocence. Daredevil and Spider-Man have a small fight over the disc, and every move Spider-Man makes, Daredevil anticipates it and counters it. And from here on, I became a fan. And I was already a big Spider-Man fan. What I liked about Daredevil is his calm and cool demeanor when he's Matt Murdock and when he's beating the hell out of his opponents. Also, how he gets along with Spider-Man. They don't have this antagonistic friendship towards each other like Spider-Man and Wolverine.
Talking about? Are you at all interested in that clown who just threw a bomb at us? I don't have time for games, Wolverine. Good, because I ain't playing any.
Daredevil also appeared in the 90s Fantastic Four cartoon, which also has an epic intro. In the episode, "And a Blind Man Shall Lead Them," he helps the Fantastic Four navigate through a Doctor Doom attack after losing their powers. By this point, I was such a fan that I wanted Daredevil comics and action figures. One day, shopping at Big Lots with my mom, I found this Daredevil action figure. She bought it for me, and I was the happiest kid in the world. It even came with a grappling hook. Now, back then, I've never seen this particular suit, so it wasn't until recently that I discovered it came from Daredevil comic number 321 during the Fall from Grace story arc. In this story, his red suit is torn to pieces in a couple of decisive battles with Silver Sable and her Wild Pack, so he modifies it into an armored suit. The 2000s was an era where we've got some good superhero movies like Blade, Constantine, Hellboy, and Spider-Man, and some really bad ones like Catwoman, Fantastic Four, and Elektra. And we had some in-betweeners like The Punisher and 2003's Daredevil. And oh, I was so excited to go see this movie. I begged my mom to take me.
Mommy! Mama! Mama! Mama!
Which she did. And Mom, if you ever watch this, I apologize for making you sit through it. Thank you for not abandoning me at the movie theater though. I really appreciate it. Anyways, I'm no movie critic, but I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I like the bar fight scene. the sonar powers, and the dark tone of the movie. Now, some Daredevil fans love the suit, but some of you absolutely hated it. However, I would argue it was a product of its time. A lot of movies featured tightly clad leather and polyester suits, like the Matrix movies, Charlie's Angels, Kill Bill, and the X-Men. It was a thing. Now, some people like tightly clad leathered bodies, and that's their business. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Now back to the Daredevil movie. It introduced Kingpin and Bullseye as the main villains, and Elektra as his love interest. However, as for the fight scene in the park, it was at this moment I knew there wouldn't be a sequel to this movie. We did get an Elektra spinoff though, and moving on. Now, it was at this point I was giving up on superhero movies. But then in 2005, Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins released in theaters. And at first, I thought it was going to be put on the abandon your child in the movie theater list, but I was proven wrong. It was an awesome movie. Great origin builder with a dark tone. Lots of beatdown scenes. And even Batman's voice was on point.
I'm Batman.
It was the perfect blueprint for superhero. Oh wait, this is a Daredevil video. My apologies. The 2003 Daredevil movie was so good, so Oscar worthy, that the character wouldn't appear on screen until 2015 on Netflix. And it did not disappoint. 3 seasons of kicking ass, especially the notorious hallway fight scene in season 1. Just Daredevil beating the Hell's Kitchen out of his opponents. The only downside is we don't see the red suit until the end of the season, but the show is still worth it. In this iteration of Daredevil, he's calm, cool, and collected, and his main enemy is the Kingpin. In 2017, Daredevil appeared in the Netflix series The Defenders, alongside Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. The group faced off against a shadowy organization known as The Hand. In 2021, he appeared in Spider-Man's No Way Home as Matt Murdock, the attorney. He caught a brick coming through the window. In 2022, he appeared in the She-Hulk series as her love interest, and even debuted his red and yellow suit, which almost looks like a combination of Iron Man's suit and the Armorer's suit from The Mandalorian. But I'm not complaining. Daredevil is expected to return in another series titled Daredevil Born Again, which is scheduled to release in 2024. And I look forward to watching it. However, as a longtime fan, I'd also like to see the armored black suit, but here's to hoping. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And this has been another episode of The Voice of Rhino.